everyone! Today we'll be doing a 20-minute yoga wheel class. So it's just another gentle stretch, but we'll be needing our yoga wheel and also 2 blocks. Let's begin. Taking a moment to set up here first. So we're going to use one of the blocks and place it behind the wheel just to stop it from rolling out behind us. And just start to lie down with the feet together and knees wide. And then the second block we're going to place underneath our head to support the neck and the head. So if this is still too much for your throat, just sit a little further forward, so you're leaning more on your upper back. And then your head and your chin can come a little further down towards your chest. Once you've found a comfortable spot, let your body relax here. Your head, your neck, shoulders, back are completely supported by the wheel. And your hips, buttocks, legs are completely supported by the earth. Notice your breath. Noticing how your body is feeling today. Remembering that your body is constantly changing. So the way that you feel day to day will also change. And this might just mean that you have to modify your practice a little bit to suit your body that day. Start to bring some gentle movement back into your fingers and your toes, and maybe reaching the arms up overhead and grabbing opposite elbows, getting a nice deep stretch in the armpits and the shoulders and the chest. Then bringing the arms back beside the body, then using the hands to help support your neck as you lift the block away, and we're just starting to sit back out. So use your hands to push the mat and the wheel away from you. Bring the wheel back out in front, and we're just coming into a forward fold, but still in our butterfly legs. So keep the soles of the feet together, knees wide. See if you can lengthen your spine first. Draw the shoulders back and down away from the ears. And then exhale, fold forward to deepen the stretch in your hips. Now you can start to use that wheel and roll it in closer towards you. If this is still not enough, you can bring a block on top of the wheel, or even just bring the wheel on the tops, on the soles of your feet. But just so we have something to rest our head on. Thighs, calves relaxing. Let the shoulders fall forward. Opening into that lower back. And then slowly coming back up. Maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a big squeeze, tucking your chin or your forehead into your knees. Then we're sitting to one side and coming up onto all fours. Let's come down through our child's pose first. So knees wide as the mat, big toes touching behind us, and you can come straight into a regular child's pose with your forehead on the mat, or you might like to use your wheel and place it underneath your chin. So start to use that wheel as a support to open the throat. If that doesn't feel good for your neck, you can bring your forehead on the wheel, maybe using a block in front of it to stop it from rolling away, or just using your hands. Or maybe even hugging it right in towards your belly. Or if none of these options feel good, just come to your regular child's pose. Now we're doing a little bit of a cat and cow, but we're doing it with the wheel this time. So knees hip width apart still, coming into the fingertips, maybe needing to walk your knees a little further back first. And on the inhale, kind of like our usual cow pose, open the chest, and then exhale around your spine, arch it up towards the sky into your cat. Inhale, lengthening through your back, through your waist, and exhale around in your spine. You can move your head here as well, like our usual cat and cow. So inhale, maybe looking up towards the wheel, towards your hands, and exhale around your spine. Inhale, see how you feel in your chest and your armpits, maybe dipping your chest a little further, closer towards your mat, and exhale around your spine. Just moving with your own breath and repeating a few more times. Pushing the wheel away with your hands and then hugging it back in. Then on the last round, staying in your cow pose and maybe dropping your head onto the mat, or if the head doesn't reach, use a block. Place it underneath the head. So keeping your hands resting on the wheel, keep your elbows bent here. And just melting the chest down towards your mat like our melting heart pose. Opening deeply into the chest, the armpits and the shoulders. Sending your sit bones up towards the sky, opening into the lower back and the thoracic spine. Then coming into your closed-legged child's pose, let your shoulders fall forward, counter-posing here, letting your shoulders relax, maybe rocking side to side. Deep breaths here. Let your back body expand with the in-breath and soften with the out-breath. Coming into a few shoulder stretches, so still keeping the hips down in our child's. Just start to walk the left fingertips over towards the right, threading it through like I'll thread the needle. And if your head doesn't feel good here on the mat, use your block like a pillow and just rest your head on it. See if you can draw that right armpit down towards your mat, feeling a stretch through the outside edge of that left shoulder, but also into the armpit. If it's not enough, bring your right hand to rest on your wheel and just gently push it forward, lengthening through that right arm. Remember your head is relaxed, your neck is relaxed. And you're keeping your hips relaxed, sinking down towards your heels. Slowly reverse your path, coming to the other side. So moving your wheel to the left, if you're going to use it. This time thread your right arm through like I thread the needle, right ear on your mat or on your block. Either keeping that left hand on the mat, or left hand, left fingertips starting to rest onto your wheel. And maybe gently pushing it forward, keeping your elbows slightly bent. You never want to keep the arms completely straight and lock out through the elbows. Always protecting the elbows by keeping a micro bend. Feeling the shoulders, the armpits on the other side, opening, lengthening. When you're ready, reverse your path, slowly coming back up. Maybe coming back into a closed like a child's pose again. So remember, we're just taking it really slow today. So we've got lots of child's poses, lots of rocking, and you can always just stop the video and stay in any pose for longer if you feel like that's what your body needs. Maybe just shaking your hips side to side here, shaking out any tension in the hips. Maybe doing a few more regular cat and cows if your spine needs it, or just rolling your shoulders out, gentle twist side to side. Just feel into your body. Eventually we're going to come to lie on our bellies. Maybe stepping the feet back, just coming down whatever way feels natural. Coming into some back bend, so starting to warm up into that lower back. Maybe just coming into Sphinx today with your elbows underneath the shoulders. Notice if you're sinking down into the shoulders. So we still want to draw the shoulders back and down away from the ears and pushing your chest through, lifting your chest up towards the sky. Keep your buttocks relaxed and thighs relaxed here if you're in Sphinx. Breathe into that lower back. If you'd like more, then you can start to use your wheel, and maybe it's just hugging it in towards your chest and resting your chin there. So you're still getting the same stretch in your lower back, but you're starting to open the throat now as well. If you'd like even more in your back, a bit of a deeper back bend, then start to engage your buttocks and your quads. And use your hands to start to hug the wheel in a little closer, supporting it with the hands or a block in front, using it to prop our chest up to deepen that back bend. Keep your shoulders drawing down and back. Keep your gaze soft. Keep breathing. Still breathing into the belly and the chest. Then slowly reversing, coming out whatever way feels natural. Letting one ear, one cheek come down onto your mat and let the shoulders fall forward, rounding the back body. Little counter pose, counter stretch. When you're ready, we're starting to come back up. So bringing your hands underneath the shoulders, push the mat away with the hands, and maybe come back to child's pose. Close like a child's pose with the shoulders falling forward, and again rocking side to side. Bit more of a rounding in our back body to counter that back bend. When you feel ready, you can start to sit back up, but remember there's no rush. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold from here. So you may need to use your blocks as well as the wheel, maybe just having the mat in front in case. Opening the legs wide, and if you find that your hamstrings and the backs of your knees are quite tight, you can always bend your knees slightly, or just bring your legs a little bit closer. Otherwise, bring your hands behind you. Use the hands to prop your chest up. Make sure you're not sitting on your tailbone. And either staying here, feeling that stretch in your groin and your hips and your hamstrings, or use your wheel and bring it out in front of you. You can just hug it in towards your belly and let your head relax, chin to chest, or maybe bringing your wheel a little further away, stacking a couple of blocks. Use that block in front to stop it from rolling out, or maybe 2 blocks on top of the wheel, or your chin to open the throat and the neck. Or maybe you can bring the wheel and the blocks a little further out in front. Again, either chin or forehead on the mat. So just finding your spot, your position, as far as you can go without feeling any pain in the backs of your knees. and using the wheel and your blocks for support, supporting the front of the body or your head. And we're doing 10 more breaths here. Let your shoulders fall forward and relax on every exhale. And maybe your chest can melt a little further down towards your wheel or the mat. Letting the hamstrings really lengthen here. No tension at all in your upper body. You can stay longer or slowly just reversing your path, moving the props to one side first. Use your hands on the backs of the knees to help bring the knees together again. Big squeeze in, give yourself a hug, releasing the hamstrings and the hips, maybe wriggling toes or ankles. Sitting to one side. And let's bring the wheel back behind us, and we're starting to come into a few more back bends, and also starting to use the wheel to do some massaging motions into our back and the shoulders. So some of my favorite poses to do in this wheel. Making sure that you keep your hands behind your neck to support the head and the neck. Maybe just starting to open the chest here and stay here. Notice how that feels. If you'd like a little more, then start to use your feet to press the mat away, lifting the hips off the mat and just rolling up and down the spine gently. So it's kind of like a foam roller, but we're just using a wheel, which is a little bit higher, maybe a little bit harder. Using it to roll up and down the spine. Maybe just working your way on the lower parts of your back first, in your lower back, and then starting to roll your way a little higher up towards your shoulders, especially the tops of the shoulders, where we tend to hold a lot of tension. Eventually, you may be dropping your head back and then releasing your fingertips to grab a hold of the wheel and getting a really deep stretch here in your armpits and your chest. If this is too much, just bring your hands back behind your neck. But if this is okay, maybe starting to use your hands, gently drawing your thoracic spine down towards the wheel and drawing your back of the head towards the wheel. Maybe your crown of the head can rest onto your mat. Maybe the forearms can rest on your mat as well. Sometimes I get some little cracks here in my thoracic spine, but it feels really good. So it's a really good release here for your upper back. Remember, when you're coming up or down, when you're in that awkward halfway spot, always bring your hands behind your head, behind your neck to support it. So really here, you're just moving up and down along your spine. There's no right or wrong. Just experiment. Find a spot maybe that's particularly tight. Maybe working in that spot a little bit longer, rolling, massaging for a little bit more. Maybe closing your eyes. Spend as long as you need. Eventually, maybe rolling all the way back until your head can come onto your mat. You can keep your hands behind your head to support it. Use the arms as a little bit of support. And maybe just lengthening, straightening out through the legs. Feel that stretch in your hip flexors and the fronts of the quads. You can stay here, just feeling that stretch through the front of your body, in your belly, in your chest, in your armpits. You can stay here, bringing the back of the head on your mat, or you can start to bring your hands onto your wheel, using it to support, And roll a little further back so the tops of your shoulders can come down onto your mat. Maybe keeping one foot on the mat, lifting one knee up, and then switching. Feel how that stretches through your hip flexors and your quads. Or keeping both feet down. Maybe it's just the tippy toes that can reach. If this is too much for your lower back, remember you can skip this, or you can come a little further down. So just shimmy the wheel a little closer down towards your sacrum, down towards your tailbone. Maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest, rounding the spine a little bit here. Maybe the knees can come to touch your nose or your forehead, or you could come into a plow even. So just taking small gentle movements, either lifting knees up, just resting your hips on the wheel, or keeping your knees hugged in towards your nose. Maybe straightening the legs straight up like a supported shoulder stand, or like our legs up the wall. So you're keeping the hands on the wheel to keep it hugged in so it doesn't slip out and roll away from us. But we still want to keep the shoulders relaxed. And the hips are just heavy and sitting, sinking down onto the wheel. Draining any tension from the feet and the ankles. Remember, the weight should be on the tops of the shoulders and not on the neck. So if you find that you're feeling a lot of pressure on your neck, then you just have to roll a little further down. So maybe shimmying your shoulders a little further back. Maybe lifting the legs back up overhead. And I've just cut myself off in this video here, but maybe the toes can come and touch the mat behind you, stretching through the backs of the legs. Stay in any of these positions as long as you need, and eventually just come out, either reversing your path and rolling back out, or you could just come to the tippy toes, use your hands to roll the wheel away from you, lift your hips up. Then move it to one side, lying on your back, maybe coming into supine butterfly, and finding your position for final rest today. So either in your final Shavasana with the legs long, or in that butterfly, or sitting back up and finding the position that we first started at today. So again, using your 2 blocks. One block behind to stop the wheel from rolling out. Sit a little further forward so the wheel's around your mid back or upper back, and another block underneath your head. Arms beside your body. And I'll just leave you here to stay as long as you need. Namaste.